Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 254 based on novel. So let's start. The next day. However, in the early morning, Lian Yi hurried to the Helan post where Xiao Yang and his party were located. After asking about the residence of Xiao Yang and others, he came to the lower part of Xiao Yang and others. When the boss of the post station led Lian Yi here and was about to knock on Xiao Yang's door, Lian Yi stopped him and hesitated. Lian Yi asked the boss to go back first, while he was waiting in the courtyard outside the door, waiting for Xiao Yang to appear. After Xiao Yang expelled Fang Jitsung's poison yesterday, he found that Fang Jitsung's whole state has improved a lot after exploration. Even his speech and behavior have been standardized, and he is no longer as foolish as before. Although this change seems not big, Lian Yi really sees the opportunity for Fang Jitsung to recover. He couldn't help but want to come here last night, but he was afraid to disturb Xiao Yang's rest. At the moment, he sees Xiao Yang's door closed. In order not to let Xiao Yang have any prejudice, on the one hand, he also wants to show his sincerity. Lian Yi waited quietly outside the door. Let a strong man at the later stage of returning to the source wait like this. Looking at the whole hopeless city, who can get such treatment? Creak. I don't know when, Xiao Yang's closed door suddenly opened slowly in the sound of door friction. The movement scared away the two birds lying still on the eaves in front of the door. At the same time, it also opened Lian Yi's eyes in an instant. Mr. Xiao Yang. Seeing that Xiao Yang appeared, Lian Yi's old face suddenly appeared with a respectful smile. He quickly got up and hugged Xiao Yang. Seeing Lian Yi was here, Xiao Yang's face showed a surprised expression, and his eyes flashed a fine light that people didn't check. He was surprised and said, "Why is Master Lian here?" Xiao Yang naturally knows the emergence of Lian Yi clearly. From the moment the former stepped into Helan Post, any of his actions have fallen into Xiao Yang's eyes, but there is no explanation. The reason why he says so now is to let Lian Yi take the initiative to take over the words and let him hear what he wants to hear. Mr. Xiao Yang, thanks to your action yesterday, my young master's physical condition has changed a lot. It's very different from the previous days. Mr. Xiao's strange fire is worthy of the power of heaven and earth. It's really magical. Seeing the puzzled look on Xiao Yang's face, Lian Yi narrowed his eyes slightly and whispered a little fox in his heart, which was flattering again. After all, Lian Yi is also a strong man who has traveled across the mainland. He has no less experience than Xiao Yang. Naturally, it can be seen that Xiao Yang deliberately waited for him in the room. If not, he would not feel the vaguely oppressive feeling when he entered Helan Post House earlier. That is clearly the pressure of the soul. Even if it was not obvious, he was still vaguely aware of it with the cultivation in the later stage of returning to the source territory. It's good to be able to turn around. In fact, I just think I have a fate with young Master Fang, so I'll do it. I just don't know. Is there anything else I can do when Master Lian comes today? Ask clearly. Hearing the speech, Lian Yi immediately spat, and then grinned. Mr. Xiao Yang, you also said yesterday that my young master's poison is not easy to get rid of. If you want to get rid of it completely, I'm afraid you have to drive the poison several times. So I came here today to invite Mr. Xiao Yang to go to the family with me and drive the poison for the young master in the family. Do you think so? You mean going to Fang's house? Xiao Yang picked his eyebrows. Lan Knight was very straightforward. Yes, I hope Mr. Xiao Yang can forgive me. After all, it's about my young master. How to make a decision depends on the owner's meaning. Although I can predict the result, I still have to inform the above first. Therefore, please bother Mr. Xiao Yang to go with me. This. In addition, our master once said that if someone can expel toxins from our young master's body, he will be invited as the guest elder of our family and enjoy any family resources in the family library. While Xiao Yang hesitated, Lian Yi opened his mouth again, and the words he spit out immediately made Xiao Yang move. He was worried that he could not find other important auxiliary materials for refining broken mirror pill. In this way, with the support of Fang's resources, he believed that he would be able to collect those medicinal materials in the shortest time and refine broken mirror pill. Then, the strength of his people would be able to be improved again. Of course, this medicinal material resource is only one of them. The most important thing is the unknown owner of the Fang family. According to Xiao Yang's guess, the other party's cultivation is at least from the king's territory. If he really saved Fang Jitsung's life, the Fang family owner will certainly owe him a favor and kill two birds with one stone. Why not? In that case, I'll go with Master Lan. The thought in his heart turned quickly. Then Xiao Yang nodded heavily. Lan Yi was relieved in front of him. Although he could imagine Xiao Yang's purpose, people were mutual. They wanted to use Xiao Yang to remove the toxin in Fang Jitsung's body. Naturally, they should pay a price for this. As long as this premise does not hurt the other family itself, the rest doesn't matter. But at this time, Xiao Yang spoke again, and Lan Yi's heart seemed to stop for a moment. I hope to let my friends go together. Xiao Yang opened his mouth, the doors on the other sides of the courtyard also opened, and the figures of Luo Jin and others stepped out. The sun shone a circle of people on the ground in the center of the courtyard. Lan Yi looked at the sudden increase of people around him. The look on his old face was stunned. His sight swept over Luo Jin and Bai Hua quickly. When passing through the great apes, a pair of deep old eyes could not help pausing. There was a fine flash in the bottom of his eyes. Then he looked at Xiao Yang in front of him and said with a smile, "Since it's Mr. Xiao Yang's friend, it's nothing to go together." At the same time, Lan Yi felt a sigh of relief. Fortunately, only he and Xiao Yang in front of him were the strong ones at the source level. If there were more, I'm afraid he should worry about his current situation. Hearing Lan Yi's words, Xiao Yang immediately smiled with satisfaction, glanced at Luo Jin and others quickly, and then said a few more words with several people. After everything was ready, the party, led by Lan Yi, found Fang Jitsung and went out of the city from the east to the direction of the Fang family in the east. Shortly after the group left the city, outside the city gate in the east, 4 middle-aged people appeared from a distance, looked at each other, nodded, and immediately set off to follow. Over the boundless mountains and forests, a line of 9 people are flying towards the east at a slow speed. At the current speed of Xiao Yang and his party, they can reach Fang's house in 2 days. Oh! It's really disrespectful that Mr. Ju is still an elder of the Herbalist Alliance. However, where did I hear the name Ju Tai? On the way, Xiao Yang also introduced himself and his team. When Lan Yi heard that there were people from the Herbalist Alliance in Xiao Yang's team, Lan Yi's old face showed an obvious look of surprise. Even he didn't expect that this seemingly ordinary team included people from the Herbalist Alliance. The Alliance of Herbalists. When it comes to domineering Ju Tai, that's me. Hearing Lan Yi's words, Ju Tai was impolite. He laughed and introduced himself. Oh, you are the domineering Ju Tai who is domineering and powerful without anger. It is said that you are naturally domineering, which is difficult for ordinary people to get close. As soon as I first contacted you, even I felt some oppression, ha. When he met Ju Tai with a heroic character, Lan Yi was also cheerful. He talked a lot of debauchery. In a few words, the relationship between the two people was quickly brought closer. Although the words were full of jokes, Ju Tai was full of joy, and the two people were even closer. Haha, Mr. Xiao Yang, it seems that we only focus on chatting, but we forget our other friends. I'm afraid they have to introduce themselves. As soon as the conversation turned, Lan Yi mentioned something that seemed to have nothing to do with the people at this time. The they referred to in these two populations are naturally the 4 strong chemical source and environment who have followed them since they left the city. With the strength of Xiao Yang and Lan Yi, naturally, they have long been aware of the existence of these 4 people. Among the few people who joined them, only Xiao Yixian and Muling don't know anything. Just 4 guys at the level of chemical source environment dare to follow us. It's really trying to die. Since the other side has been deliberately keeping the distance and breathlock between the two sides, Lan Yi can be sure that the 4 people are really coming for them, but he doesn't understand that relying on these 4 guys in the later stage of Huyuan territory alone, they have no chance of winning in the face of him, and why they choose to follow these 9 people. Apart from Xiao Yang, but there are 4 other strong people in the source environment. Do they really want to die? However, compared with Ln Yi, Xiao Yang doesn't think that things will be so simple. He dares to challenge the team of strong returnees with the cultivation of Huayuanjing. No one will do such a stupid thing. But if they have the combat power that strong returnees can face up to. Master Ellen, you say, who dares to do this in the extreme south? Xiao Yang's face is serious. Although he is not sure, from this situation, 9 times out of 10 it will be what he thinks. Ln Yi stopped. Xiao Yang also stopped his body at the same time. Luo Jin and others behind him looked at each other and felt thoughtful. Mr. Xiao Yang means. Xiao Yang's words also instantly reminded Ln Yi. If you have to say which force dares to do so in the extreme south, it really does. Heavenly Puppet Sect. Ln Yi suddenly turned his head and spewed out the words in his mouth. At the same time, the breath instantly locked the 4 people at the end of the rear line of sight. The owner of the 4 breath also found Ln Yi's exploration at the same time. At present, the 4 people no longer hid and simply accelerated their speed. In a moment, they had appeared in the sight of Xiao Yang and others. Hihi, Your Excellency is Fang Jitsung's guardian, Ln Yi? The slightly hoarse laughter came slowly. Obviously, the 4 people knew something about Ln Yi, so they came so boldly. It seems that they had planned for the recent World War I. Are you the 4th old man of Donggu? Staring at the 4 old men in brocade robes in front of him, Ln Yi's eyes turned and he seemed to think of something. If he had to say that the 4 people were from Tiangui sect, there were indeed 4 very similar characters in this force. Although their accomplishments are only in the later stage of Huayuanjing, their cooperation with each other is particularly tacit. It is said that under the joint efforts, their combat power is even comparable to the strong ones at the level of Yuanjing. The combat power of these 4 people is much stronger than the Tian brothers killed by Xiao Yang before. Ha ha, it seems that Mr. Ln Yi knows something about us. In that case, the 4 of me don't say much. Let's make a quick decision. Seeing Ln Yi actually recognized himself and others, the 4 old men in brocade immediately laughed and waved their sleeves. A silver puppet suddenly appeared in the space in front of them, which is also the real representative of their combat power. 4 puppets at the middle level of Yuanjing. The 4 puppets, coupled with the terrible combat power they have demonstrated together, Xiao Yang and his party are equivalent to facing 5 strong people at the source level at the same time, which is grim and self-evident. If Ln Yi faces such a combat power alone, I'm afraid he can't bear it. If he changes to another day, I'm afraid Ln Yi will die. Today, however, there is the existence of Xiao Yang and his party. Just after the 4th old man of Donggu released the puppet, Xiao Yang and others beside Ln Yi gave a cold hum. The group lined up in line, and the left foot took half a step forward. A momentum immediately swept away the 2 in the sky and approached the 4 opposite people. Don't ignore us. Seeing this scene, Lan Knight looked a little stunned. At the same time, there was a warm flow in her heart. Hey, I have to say, your appearance is really unexpected, but I'd like to advise you first. If you don't want to get yourself into trouble, you'd better go away. We can pretend we haven't seen you, otherwise. Sorry, we like to meddle in our own business. The more it has nothing to do with us, the more we want to get in and have the right to join the fun. Before the words in the mouth of the old man on the other side fell, Xiao Yang smiled and moved his mind. He belonged to the powerful momentum in the early stage of returning to the source territory, and immediately solidified into an invisible strong wind, sweeping across the 4 people on the other side like a blade. Dang! Then, the puppet in front of the 4 people suddenly stepped forward, waved his arm, and the surrounding void was distorted in an instant. The invisible momentum was easily blocked by the puppet. What about returning to the source territory? Since you have to die, I have to send you on the road. Go. Kill them all. With a sharp drink, the puppet in front of the 4 also burst at this moment. With the advance of the 4 puppets, the war is imminent. The 4 puppets flashed across the sky like a meteor. 2 of them rushed to Ln Yi and Xiao Yang. The other 2 puppets faced Luo Jin and others, while the 4th old man of Donggu focused on Fang Jitsung, who was being pulled behind by Ln Yi at this time. Fang Jitsung was the real purpose of their trip. As for killing Lin Yi, it was just a convenient act. No, they didn't come for me. Lan Yi's observation was also meticulous. He immediately noticed the eyes of the 4 people in Donggu. He just wanted to cover Fang Jitsung's departure, but the damn puppet had come in front of him. He couldn't allow him to say more. His cold fist hit him head-on with the force of tearing the void. If you are in this boxing, there will be a big hole in Lan Yi's body without enough strength to resist. Damn it. Although the puppet's strength is not as strong as him, the puppet is a puppet. He doesn't know pain and fatigue. As long as he can move, he will complete the orders issued by his master. Once Lan Yi is careless, even he will have to suffer a lot of losses. If he simply dealt with the iron pimple without any concerns, Lan Yi would not worry at all. Just now he has to deal with the puppet and distract himself from protecting Fang Jitsung behind him. It's really difficult to do it. Bang! It happened that Xiao Yan blew away the puppet in front of him with a fist, and Lan Yi beat back the puppet in front of him. With the help of this short breathing time, Lan Yi hurriedly shouted to Xiao Yang. Mr. Xiao Yang, I'll deal with these 2 puppets. I hope you can protect my young master temporarily. At the same time, Lan Yi turned around and kicked. The strong force blasted the puppet that rushed again, and also bumped the puppet in front of Xiao Yang. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang also knew the tension of the current situation. He didn't dare to be careless. With a backhand wave, a light burst out and rushed to the battle circle where Luo Jin and others were at the moment, while he himself flashed. With Tianju a step, he appeared in front of Fang Jitsung in the blink of an eye. At this time, the 4th old man of Donggu just bypassed the people and came behind Lan Yi. On the other side, Luo Jin and others, who were fighting with the 2 puppets, suddenly rushed into a black figure and knocked out one of the silver puppets. When Luo Jin and others came back, they found that this was the puppet at the source level in Xiao Yang's hands. In this way, with the puppets in the hands of the little medical fairy and several of them who are strong in the source environment, there is nothing to fear when they face the puppets of the 4 people in Donggu again. That's the puppet of the Heavenly Puppet Sect. How can they have something of the Heavenly Puppet Sect in their hands? This scene was also seen by Lan Yi. The mood in his heart suddenly tightened. He couldn't help looking at the battle circle where Xiao Yang was now. Although he saw that Xiao Yang was confronting the 4 people in Donggu, he didn't dare to have peace in his heart. The key depends on the appearance of Xiao Yang and them, as if he was talking about something. And this, also heavier the suspicion in Lan Yi's heart. Bang! A moment of inattention is enough to make the puppet in front of him seize the opportunity and hit Lan Yi's chest heavily. The powerful force hit his chest deeply concave in an instant. While his body flew back, you can even see that there is a fist-sized pit in Lan Yi's chest at this time. It was too late to spit out the blood that would be ejected from the mouth, but another puppet had come close, and the fierce offensive followed. Lan Yi had no time to think about it, and quickly mobilized the source gas in his body to resist. At this time, on Xiao Yang's side, the faces of the 4 people in Donggu also showed their surprised and suspicious expressions. "Boy, why do you have my puppet?" One of the 4 old men said in a low tone, and his muddy old eyes glanced at the 2 fast-moving puppets in the distant battle circle. He was sure that they must be made by the special secret method of his Heavenly Puppet Sect. He was just curious about why the puppets of his own sect would appear in the hands of an outsider. "I said I picked it up. Do you believe it?" Smelling the speech, Xiao Yang glanced and sneered. He had reached this point. This guy was in the mood to ask these questions. "You. What a sharp-mouthed boy." Xiao Yang's words suddenly made the man in front of him look gloomy, but then another old man beside him seemed to suddenly think of something and hurriedly opened his mouth. By the way, the news that came back not long ago said that in the southwest border, it seemed that the Tian brothers were killed and the puppet disappeared. Did he do it? In the end, it was the same door. Indeed, some of the 4 had learned what had happened at the southwest border. At present, when they looked at Xiao Yang, their eyes became more sinister, and their killing intention was self-evident. "Brother Tian, those 3 arrogant guys. They deserve to die. Anyway, he killed our disciples and took away our puppets. Now he still uses our puppets to stop us. If you don't die, won't my god's face be loss? Join hands and kill the boy. The four people shouted angrily. Even if their bodies were shocked, the source chi in their bodies immediately swarmed out and linked with each other to form a particularly strong momentum and pressure, which was oppressed by Xiao Yang. Chi runs through the heart and breaks the enemy with strength. The four people raised their hands to their chest at the same time and made a rapid seal. At this moment, the source gas near the body was also stirred up rapidly. The light green source gas was intertwined with each other, and finally formed a dark green long gun. The majestic momentum burst out from the middle, the long gun trembled slightly, and the mighty source gas made the void roll violently, and the slightest visible cracks emerged out of thin air. The fierce momentum was no less than the fighting skills of ordinary strong people who returned to the source environment. Heresy. Seeing this, Xiao Yang was not afraid at all. A pinch of light blue flame suddenly shot outward from the center of his palm. The flame rose and turned into a huge flame ruler in the twinkling of an eye. The flaming flame rises into the sky, which is like burning the sky. With a strong source gas injected into it, the breath emitted from the huge foot of the flame is even more frightening. Strange fire. Seeing this scene, the four old Donggu's face suddenly changed. Unexpectedly, Xiao Yang still had this terrible thing in his hand. There are few forces in the world that can compete with the power of heaven and earth. Moreover, Xiao Yang's cultivation is stronger than the four of them. Now it's more difficult to win him. However, the arrow has left the string, and everything can't be controlled by them. I'm afraid at present, I can only fight hard. With this in mind, the four people dared not underestimate the slightest. They frantically mobilized the source gas in their bodies and continuously poured it into the long gun, with the intention of defeating Xiao Yang's strange fire with this blow. Unfortunately, they underestimated Xiao Yang's power. 7 broken sky ruler. The huge foot flew over and the flame was towering. After several feet, different fire and rainbow orns merged one after another. They were more powerful than the long gun in front of them. Only at the moment when the two collided, the long gun obviously fell into the downwind. More than 10 seconds later, it suddenly burst in the unbelievable eyes of the four people behind him. Bang! The magnificent Kai Mang stands between heaven and earth and forcibly splits the long gun in two. The source chi formed by the integration of four people naturally collapses at this moment. As Xiao Yang said earlier, even if their source chi can integrate with each other and release more powerful power, after all, it is not their individual power. It is still a heresy. It is okay to face the strong in the general source environment, but for Xiao Yang with different fire, this fighting skill is difficult to play even half of his own power. There are indeed many reasons why Donggu's fourth old man lost so simply. The most important one is that they met an opponent they shouldn't meet, or that they shouldn't choose this time to find Lanya's trouble. One blow defeated the joint attack of the four people. Xiao Yang didn't stop at all. The Tianjue step at his feet was displayed in an instant. Before the four people reacted, the huge ruler of fire in Xiao Yang's hand hit them heavily in turn. Bang bang bang! 4 dull collision sounds sounded one after another, and the bodies of the four people suddenly shot out. There was no accident, not even a chance to respond. The four people had lost their original combat power. Pooh! I don't know whether it's because Xiao Yang's attack is too fast, or whether the four people really have a tacit understanding. Even the action and sound of vomiting blood are almost perfectly consistent. It's a pity that even so, they still lost, which can be described as destroying the withered and decaying. The so-called four people who worked together as strong as those who returned to the source territory were defeated by Xiao Yang. Even if they don't die today, I'm afraid it will bring them permanent trauma. The faces of the four people were very white, and blood was still gushing in their throats, but at the moment, they had no extra strength to spit out the blood that suffocated them. With such strength, how dare you lie that it is comparable to returning to the source territory? You think highly of yourself. With a cold voice, Xiao Yang shook his head and flashed his body. After several residual shadows were left in the sky, his footsteps had stopped in front of the four people. Holding a huge ruler, he was just about to send them on the road, but suddenly there was a fierce wind in his ears. With a frown on his brow, Xiao Yang turned and waved one foot without thinking about it. The powerful power suddenly burst out, and the flame roared. The puppet rushed behind him was also blasted out by Xiao Yang. The terrible flame melted the puppet's chest into a shallow pit. When Xiao Yang turned his head, he found that the 4 people behind him had been helped up by 3 other puppets. In the twinkling of an eye, they had retreated to a place hundreds of feet away. When Xiao Yang looked at Luo Jin and others, the latter were safe and sound, but he didn't expect the puppet to be transferred back so soon. They were fighting fiercely just now. Lan Yi, however, was disturbed by Xiao Yang. He was repeatedly bombed by 2 puppets. Although he was not seriously injured, he was gasping for breath for a while, and his body was covered with scars. This is not like what a strong man should show in the later stage of returning to the source territory. But Xiao Yang doesn't know. If Lan Yi hadn't been paying careful attention to the changes in Xiao Yang's situation and staring at Fang Jizong, how could he have become like this? The puppet in Xiao Yang's hand touched him a lot. Since the 3 puppets have returned to them, it is impossible to kill these 4 people. At present, Xiao Yang reluctantly gave up the idea of continuing to chase them. Anyway, it is just 4 bad guys. He has a little confidence with the puppet. If he meets him again from now on, he is afraid that he can only take a detour. The 4 old people in the East Valley seem not to worry. Just bang. When the puppet was about to be summoned back, Xiao Yang suddenly turned over in the air, stepped heavily on the puppet's back, and forced the galloping puppet into the earth. His strong strength instantly cracked the earth, and huge cracks spread like a spider's web, and the soles of Xiao Yang's feet. It is more than an inch deep that Shengsheng steps into the puppet's back. Therefore, it can ensure that the puppet can't break away from Xiao Yang's power. If you want to live, get out now. If not, don't say it's this puppet, you might as well stay together. One of the 4 just wanted to drink angrily, but was blocked back by Xiao Yang's words. At the same time, the other 3 were particularly frightened to see Xiao Yang and quickly stopped the former's behavior. Although they were extremely unwilling, they still fled here under the protection of the puppet. Seeing the 4th old man of Donggu leave, the puppet at his feet seemed to struggle more and more fiercely. This time, Xiao Yang didn't have any pity. The huge ruler of fire in his hand waved violently, and the moment the huge ruler tore through the void, he also blasted the puppet's head at his feet. For a moment, the puppet disappeared. Although these puppets have some abilities, once they are far from human control, it is not difficult to solve them. After solving the puppet, Xiao Yang returns to Lan Yi again. Others are naturally fine. It's him. Now the strongest in this team will be made like this by 2 puppets, which really surprises Xiao Yang. Master Lan, are you okay? When he came near, Xiao Yang took out a pill from Naji. After the latter took the pill, he didn't swallow it immediately. Instead, after hesitating for a moment, he bit his teeth and swallowed the pill into his mouth. Thank you for Mr. Xiao Yang's pill. Feeling the gentle medicine began to diffuse in his body and quickly repaired the trauma on his body, Lan Yi gradually relaxed and thanked Xiao Yang, but his eyes never made contact with him. In this regard, Xiao Yang couldn't help being suspicious, but he didn't understand what had happened. He just vaguely felt that Lan Yi's attitude towards him seemed to have changed slightly. Although there was some doubt in his heart, Xiao Yang didn't think much. He took back the puppets released just now and asked Luo Jin and others about them. After confirming that they were all right, he sat aside and recovered the source gas consumed in the battle just now. Lan Yi was refining the pill in his body, but Yu Guang in the corner of his eye couldn't help but catch a glimpse of Xiao Yang. His sight carefully swept over Luo Jin and others, looked at Ju Tai, and his doubts were even more serious. Recalling his encounter with Xiao Yang, the latter took the initiative to expel the poison for Fang Jizong. In addition to the events just now, Xiao Yang suppressed the long-standing 4-old Donggu by himself. Lan Yi unconsciously linked all these things in his mind. After a little episode on the way, there was no pause in the next journey. Lan Yi hurried a lot faster, and Xiao Yang and others followed closely. I knew that this guy might be worried about another roadblock like the 4th old man of Donggu, so he deliberately increased his speed. Therefore, I didn't say much. 2 days later, they came to a city. In Donghua, The square's home camp is here, everything has the final say of the Fangs. When a pedestrian arrives here, it is considered to be real security. Until this time, Lian Yi felt a long sigh of relief. He looked at Fang Zhizong with a simple face on one side and a gentle smile on the corners of his mouth. He immediately looked at Xiao Yang. Before the latter looked at him, he hurriedly moved away. Master Lian. When the party came to Fang's residence, the bodyguard outside the door saluted Lian Yi respectfully, and his eyes swept over Xiao Yang and others behind him, but he ignored his young master from beginning to end. Everyone in Donghua City knows that young Master Fang has become a loser and is a fool. Who will respect a fool? Although Lian Yi was dissatisfied with the two bodyguards, he didn't say much. Human nature doesn't need to be ignored. If he hadn't been with Fang Zhizong for many years, I'm afraid even he wouldn't be willing to pay attention to such a person. Lan Yi turned his eyes and looked at a black carriage not far away. It was engraved with some strange reliefs, like animals or birds, but it was by no means human. It should be some ancient warcraft totem. Even the warcraft used to pull the cart was also a flying clouded leopard that ordinary forces could not obtain. Based on this alone, it can be determined that the carriage belongs to no ordinary people. This carriage. Carefully looked up and down at the carriage in front of him, especially when the strange relief was reflected in Lian Yi's eyes, he immediately thought of something. This is the badge of the 10,000 Scorpion Gate. Do people from the 10,000 Scorpion Gate come to the family? Lian Yi suddenly turned his head. His hostility to one Scorpion sect is no less than Tianguizhong. Neither of these two forces is a good bird. Ordinary people can't avoid it. Even his Fang family doesn't want to be involved in it. But why did the people of one Scorpion come to Fang's house? Master Hualan, this carriage has arrived at the family this morning. It is really the people of one Scorpion sect. They seem to have come to find the master to visit the young master. They are still in the reception hall at the moment. In the face of Lian Yi's questioning, the two bodyguards dared not be disrespectful and quickly told all they knew to the people in front of them. 10,000 Scorpions? Another family of the three sects in the southern region. Hey, I can't imagine that we have just arrived in the extreme south, and the three zones in the southern region have already met too. In addition, we are going to the Burning Valley. Isn't it all for us? Hearing the conversation between Lian Yi and the bodyguard of the Fang family, Ju Tai whispered to the giant ape nearby. Xiao Yang glanced at them with the rest of his eye, and then looked at Lian Yi. The latter didn't notice, so he was relieved. But Xiao Yang was curious about the bodyguard's words. According to his understanding, the Fang family is not under the command of one Scorpion. How could one Scorpion Gate send someone to visit Fang Zhizong? Mr. Xiao Yang, please go in with me. Lian Yi is not a fool. The intention of one Scorpion Gate was guessed by him in the twinkling of an eye. He didn't say much at the moment. He immediately turned to look at Xiao Yang, hugged him heavily and invited him respectfully. The scene fell into the eyes of the two bodyguards, which made them suddenly stare at Xiao Yang with an unbelievable face. It's amazing that Master Lian, who is not low in the family, would salute such a young man. Seeing Lian Yi's gesture, Xiao Yang immediately understood what he meant. The Fang family has a great cause and the overall power cannot be underestimated. The reason for one Scorpion to come to visit Fang Zhizong at this time is only a cover. I'm afraid there is another purpose, and it is still related to the purpose of the whole Fang family. Good. He nodded heavily. Xiao Yang understood Lian Yi's mood. If he was a little late, if the family leader really made any deal with the people of one Scorpion Gate, it would damage the foundation of the family. Then, Lian Yi took Xiao Yang and his party and hurried into the Fang family residence, rushed to the reception hall of the Fang family, and scattered all the family elders and deacons who came to inquire along the way. No one could stop this team. All the people of the Fang family can only watch Lian Yi lead a group of unknown people into the Fang family residence, but there is no response at all. At the same time, in the reception hall of the Fang family, except for several senior elders of the Fang family, the other younger generation and the bodyguard outside the door were dismissed. In the hall, only 5 people sat in it, including a middle-aged man in brocade robes, 3 white-haired elders in white robes, and a thin and dark old man in black robes. At this time, the man in black was staring at the other 4 people in the field with a sneer. His right index finger tapped the table in an orderly rhythm, as if he was waiting for something. Gaga, Master Fang, I've given you the solution. It just depends on how you express your position now. If you promise now, I'll give you the existing antidote immediately. But if Master Fang wants to think about it for a few more days, I'm sorry. I won't accompany you. The black-robed man beat his index finger on the table faster and faster. Until a certain moment, the black-robed man simply got up directly, his sharp eyes quickly swept over the 4 people present, looked at the first middle-aged man, smiled coldly, pretended to lift his feet, and instantly increased the pressure in the hearts of the 4 people present. Maro Zun, don't deceive people too much. Even if we Fang family need this antidote, we can't betray our power for this. You won Scorpion Door, this is wishful thinking. Just when Maro Zun was about to lift his legs and leave, the 3 old men sitting opposite suddenly got up, stared at him angrily, and became angry. In his words, they scoffed at the betrayal. Hearing the words of the 3 elders, Maro Zun looked cold and disdainful, and directly focused on Fang Kai, the master of the Fang family. He knew that even if the 3 old and immortal guys tried to argue, as long as Fang Kai opened his mouth, all their refutations would no longer be important. For now, it all depends on the choice of Fang Kai. This video will end here.